Good morning and welcome to We Got Options radio show with the doctor and son, a show about maintaining our overall mental health and wellness. This morning, we are so blessed to be joined by two special guests that are coming on to talk to us today about counseling profession, talking about internship assisting, as well as supervision, and then growth and opportunities in the counseling profession. So today, I would like to introduce Miss Tina Boyer and Daquan Thomas.
Hey,
Hello,
hey.
thank you for joining
Hello,
us.
hello,
Oh.
hello.
Awesome. Yes, we are so happy to have you on our show and just talk a little bit about the counseling profession. Myself being in the counseling profession, I do believe that people sometimes don't understand what it is to jump into the profession and understand the different dynamics and the different parts of all the things we have to do before we're out there practicing, and then as we are practicing in this profession, there's a lot to go with it. Of course, we got to watch ourselves as well and make sure that we're not burning out, and definitely make sure that we're providing a level of care to our patients and our clients. So one thing I wanted to say is, I asked you guys is, what are some of the things right now you guys are definitely seeing in the counseling profession, and then also what brought you to the counseling profession?
Um, okay, so hey folks, this is Tina. I think what brought me into or what geared me towards wanting to come into this field is just lived experiences and people that have paved the way, um, that allowed me to see, hey, it's possible, right? But it's still a gift. And then we go to school to kind of shape that gift and learn skills to be applied. So just, I don't know, just having counselors before me that made me feel that I could too become an advocate in the field for overall wellness.
Awesome, awesome. And Daquan, brings you to the field of
See
counseling?
my see my answer was just a little bit different until I got upon the field.
Hmm.
So initially, how I wanted to do it is like for me, I was just like one of the people that somebody would just naturally come to and just discuss their problems and things like that. And I would, typically like try to give my best advice and things like that. So I was like getting all these people to come in, and I was like, man, I might as well just go ahead and get paid for it, right?
Hmm.
But it wasn't until I actually, started to go to school and actually understand the dynamics of what we actually do in this field. It's not that we actually sit there and give advice or anything. We allow our clients to actually take the driver side, and we just help guide them along. And that right there helped shape and mold me and help me understand a little bit better about what we do. And also, while I was attending Johnson C. Smith University, I was in the psychology program, and it wasn't a lot of male counselors out there, black males specifically. So
Hmm.
that's another reason why I'm just like adamant on showing face, showing representation, because within our own, community, going to a therapist or seeing somebody you're crazy, or what stays in the home, I mean, what happens in the home stays in the home mentality is formed. And so I want to, show that, hey, it's okay to get therapy. I'm a black man. I go to therapy, at least once a month, because I want to, keep up with my mental health. If I can keep up my physical health, I can keep up with my mental health as well. So, I want to exercise that and practice that. Um, but my main focus actually was because there was not a lot of black male representation out there. And when I went to Johnson C. Smith, that was the first black male counselor I had seen. And from there on, I was like, yeah, that's something that I want to do, is help other individuals, you know, kind of navigate through life and get over that, that self-defeating hump that we all have within ourselves.
That is awesome, Daquan. I love that. That is major to me.
Mm,
Miss Tina, what you said was definitely on point too. I think when we do get into the counseling field, we don't realize that there's so many different dynamics
yeah.
that bring us
Mhm.
here, but then there's so many different dynamics once we get here.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things that I always tell people is, going to school is one thing, like Daquan said, going to school is one thing, but then once you start to understand what the counseling field, the counseling profession is all about, you realize you have to embark on some different things that you wasn't thinking about, which would be, I'm going to give some examples here: internship,
Hmm.
Mhm.
licensure, well, supervision, then
Mhm.
licensure, and then
Mhm.
kind of getting yourself out there and realizing, okay, it's my growth opportunity that I want to be working for a practice, or I want to create my own
Mhm.
practice, or do I want to go with, agency work? Like, you have all these different opportunities that are kicked at you that people don't realize. That's a lot that we have to kind of juggle as we're embarking on this profession and learning about the things we're learning that we have to kind of adapt to and become equipped to do in this profession.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So what are some of the,
Absolutely.
yeah, what are some of the things that you guys think, has been, I guess, an opportunity for you, as in when you jumped in, you realized that, oh my goodness, because I have to do this internship, what can I do? How can I do it? And then supervision. Oh my goodness, I got to pay for it? No one told me that.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you guys kind of experienced there, or what was kind of your experience with, in both areas?
You want to go to Quan?
Oh, I mean, I can. For me, like supervision, I have to say I was truly blessed when working with Insightful Options because it didn't hit hard until I'm paying out a pocket every month to do my supervision that I'm currently doing now.
Mhm.
Um, but the supervision experience is definitely worthwhile because it's very interesting because you never know how the supervision will go. You can discuss clients one supervision, then you can discuss about yourself, and understanding your biases and things that have triggered you, or how you can specifically handle a particular client, because sometimes we get stumped, especially with us being new in the field. We're still trying to figure things out. We're trying to make sure that we're not messing up, because I know for me, um, I know when I first started, I was nervous. When I say I was nervous, because I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to mess somebody else up. Like they already gone through some issues, and I don't want to be that driving force that's going to tilt the scale, that's going to make or break somebody. And that was that was one of my fears, until I actually got into it. And, speaking with you, Dr. Mag, and during our supervisions, and, just you giving me more confidence and, believing in myself, as well, because there was that I don't know if I can do it type thing, which have always guessing myself. So supervision can help any discouraging factors that you may have, or questions that you may have about a particular client. It's that's dedicated. That's your time and dedication to do it. I love my supervision experience with both you, Dr. Mack, and with my current supervisor now. It's just totally eye-opening. Some things, I had to, analyze myself on certain topics and certain things, and be like, whoa, okay, let me go ahead and do a reset. I analyze, let me see what I can contour, or see how to navigate through the counseling field and things like that. So I would say that was one of the best beneficials as far as supervision, is just getting the guidance,
Mhm.
because that's ultimately what we're here for, is like we need guidance, and supervision is there to help guide the younger therapists and help shape and mold them and find out what they actually want to do. So that's the guidance is everything for me.
Thank you, Daquan. That is awesome. So with that, we're going to come back and we're going to finish up with Miss Tina giving us her whole part of supervision and internship and everything. But we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back after these messages. And thank you for tuning back in with We Got Options with the Doctor and Son radio show. Today, we have our special guest that we're going to get back to, Daquan Thomas and Tina Boyer. We are talking about counseling profession. We are kind of just putting everything in the pot and letting people know that if you want to become a counseling profession or you're interested in getting into the field like we are, it's a lot to go into it. And one of the things some of the things that we're discussing today is, internship. We're talking about supervision. We're talking about the growth, and we're just talking about the counseling profession as a whole. And so we are coming back in, having Miss Tina give us some of her experiences and some of the things that she realized coming into this field that, oh my goodness, and the things that she's experienced as far as, supervision, getting supervision, and the opportunities out there, internship opportunities, all the different things that she's kind of experienced. She's going to give it to us. Miss Tina, are you ready?
I'm ready, Doc.
All right, let's go.
All right. So my experience with interning, so like I started a little later in life. And when I jumped in, initially going to school for substance abuse, and then was like, my eyes were open to, I think you were saying something to this fact, Doc, that, you can do both. As we know, substance abuse and mental health go hand in hand, and we've been hearing that for years. However, but there is a licensure for this and a certification for this. And so having the opportunity to intern at Insightful Options under your supervision allowed me that exposure, right? To be exposed to different populations with practicum, like doing practicum and practicing before you actually can be with the clients and, interning. And so just being at Insightful Options, interning and learning and being exposed to the different moving parts of the counseling profession, being blessed with the opportunity for professional development, or at least you planting that seed, like, hey, it doesn't have to stop here, so that was a good experience for me. My internship, I think Daquan was like, I was a little fearful. So was I, but I wasn't going to show it. I was going to walk towards that fear because of my experience and my background before, because I'm a little older. But it was still like, a little bit of fear of, like you said, Daquan, I don't want to come in here messing nobody up. So let me follow the guidance of a woman that has been doing this, have, paved the way for us to come in and show us how we could help others while we're helping ourselves. So I had a great internship at Insightful Options, and to be given the opportunity to become an intern assistant, again, networking, exposure to another level. Fantastic. I think what I did not realize, and Doc, to your testament, is I did not consider the cost, the time, the continuing education. I recently had an experience where one certification relied on the other. One certification expired, and I'm just working, thinking that I got it in the bag with an associate's license. Well, come to find out, I had let that certification expire, and the board contacted me. It was like, hey, if you don't get this done, you won't be working, as a licensed clinician, without keeping up that certification. Mm-hmm. And so I scrambled doing the continuing education, paid for the continuing education, right, to get all my hours.
Yes.
Go submit it to the board. And honey, they hit me with a late fee. I was like, oh my goodness, I was not
Mhm.
ready. I was not ready. So those are some of the things that I think we don't fully understand coming in,
Mhm.
right? There's some cost associated with licensure and continuing ed, even supervision, right, Doc?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah. So it's always moving parts, but I understand those moving parts are to help us excel, uh, make sure that we are maintaining um our knowledge and keeping up with things that we need to be knowing and just being just like gatekeepers, making sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in this field. But that one experience kind of uh took me back a little bit. And this was a couple months ago. I was not ready for that late fee cost and paying for hours and things like that, like last minute stuff. So interning, supervision, just meeting with you, Doc, and just learning new aspects of, hey, this is here's something you might want to read to broaden your scope. You know what I mean? To expand your knowledge base, things like that. So I'm forever grateful for Insightful Options intern, becoming an intern assistant, and even having the opportunity for more professional development.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Miss Tina.
Um,
Go ahead, Daquan.
just to add on to Miss what Miss Tina was saying, I definitely like my experience with Insightful Option. I would tell people I would never forget my first client that I was passed on to. She was not even, I wouldn't say even a difficult client, but it was just the fact that me and you discussed, and you were like, I feel like she would be a perfect fit because y'all had like similar kind of situations.
Mhm.
And I would just say like being at Insightful Options, it allowed me to also look within myself because every one of my clients I actually came in contact with, I connected with them on different levels. Each experience that they went through, I was able to identify with their experiences, which helped me able to kind of navigate on how to handle that person. But also within the internship, it also teaches you, hey, you gotta see is this for you or is this for the client that you're doing it for?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because we get caught up sometimes thinking that we're doing it for the client, but in all actuality, that's that transference that we're doing, that counter transference that we're doing, because we are trying to be there so much solely for that patient or that client, and we forget that that's the client's issue that they got to go through and that they have to sort through. So we can't sit there and want it more for them and start telling them how to navigate or telling them what to do to get through the situation because they ultimately have to understand those and what they have to do and understand that mental health is not, it takes work, and another thing, just before we even can get into the whole, collecting the hours, let's talk about like also this test is
Mm.
nothing to play with as well because that test one to register, it costly. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
to if you fail it, like take it from me. I took it 3 times and I haven't passed it yet. But it's the fact that I'm thinking about, oh, Quan, you're doing all this, you're paying all this money to take a test, and I haven't sat there and actually buckled down and studied the way I needed to study. But it's just that money that's coming out the pocket. So, even if, before we even get into the, starting the, getting the licensure, it's trying to pass that test. That takes money, register for the test and re-register for the test. That all costs as well. So, y'all got to think about that, especially with the continual education piece because there's not cheap out there either. So there's a lot of things that we have to do, and it's not actually. This is something that people think that we just want to do. This isn't something that, or we're just getting, we're in this field because we're going to get money. No, we gotta hustle to get
We
that
give up a
money.
lot before we start
Yeah.
making any, right, Daquan and Miss
Yeah,
Tina?
yeah.
Yep,
Yes,
You gotta
we
absolutely.
pay
do.
that money. You gotta pay
Mhm.
that money before you start actually getting money. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with
But you
that,
know what? You
yes,
know what,
ma'am.
Doc? Just one more
Mhm.
thing.
Yes.
Um, Insightful Options again exposed me to, some other works that you're doing, like,
mhm,
the Green McAway Foundation. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
That's another direction. So
mhm.
I'm like, it can lend so many opportunities, but I think, we still have to be mindful of um the things like you said, Doc, you had to learn on your own. Luckily, you have given us those things, but we still need to be mindful of cost and time and,
Mhm,
keeping up with licensure and things like that.
mhm.
Absolutely. I think it's big time thinking about the commitment. And with that, we're going to go ahead and run on into a commercial break, and we will be back after these messages. And we're back with We Got Options with the Doctor and Son radio show. We are talking with our special guest, and we're going to kind of wrap things up a little bit here. But we wanted to make sure that everyone is able to make contact with our special guests, Daquan Thomas and Tina Boyer. We definitely want you guys to be able to communicate with individuals as they may have questions when it comes to this show. So, Daquan, would you be happy to give us that information that people can make contact with you?
Yes, you can definitely contact me at thomas.dequan2020 at gmail.com. That is thomas.dequan, DEQUAN 2020 at gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, Daquan. And Miss Tina?
Yes, ma'am. You guys can find me at Tina B519 at Gmail.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
Well, I really appreciate both of you coming on with us today and just giving us some good knowledge and some good information about people that, may have an idea or thought that they want to get into the counseling profession and, just didn't really realize what it is, how to get there, who to contact or anything like that. So I am glad you guys came on and joined us and let people know that listen, there are individuals out there that can give you that same experience and knowledge and the things that you might need to move forward and give you that understanding that there's a lot that you're going to put into this field before you
Yep,
start producing and getting something out of it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end our show. But we really just want to make sure that everyone that's listening, if you're interested in things like this, you can make contact with our special guest. And as always, thank you for joining us on We Got Options with the Doctor and Son. See you next
Thank you
time.
guys.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
guys.
Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Uh-huh.